Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you join us here. Just when residents thought the worst was over, another community in Benue State came under attack. Only days after a deadly assault left several people dead in Onondo local government area, gunmen struck again, forcing terrified families to abandon their homes as gunfire echoed through the community. Although security operatives eventually repelled the attackers, one resident lost his life, raising fresh concerns that the violence in Benue State may be far from over. According to Punch, the latest attack occurred in Onondo community, located in Obujo district of Otukpo local government area, where suspected armed herders reportedly invaded the area through the early hours of the morning. According to residents, the attackers arrived unexpectedly and immediately began shooting sporadically, creating panic among villagers who fled for safety before the situation could worsen. Residents said the sound of gunfire spread fear throughout the community as men, women, and children abandoned their homes and ran towards the neighboring Oyangende community. Many escaped with only the clothes they were wearing, uncertain whether they would be able to return to their homes after the attack. One resident, who identified himself simply as Sonny, described the frightening moments when the attack began. According to him, the armed men entered the community around dawn and started firing repeatedly, forcing everyone to scatter in different directions. He explained that many families fled immediately because they feared the attackers intended to carry out another large-scale assault similar to previous attacks witnessed in the area. Sonny said local youths quickly organized themselves after the initial attack and pursued the invading gunmen. According to him, their swift response prevented the attackers from causing even greater destruction. However, despite their efforts, one member of the community was killed before the attackers were eventually forced to retreat. The death has once again plunged the affected community into mourning. Residents say they are struggling to understand why attacks continue to occur despite repeated security operations across parts of Benue State. Many families now fear that the communities remain vulnerable and that another attack could happen at any time. The chairman of Otukpo local government area, Maxwell Ogiri, confirmed that the attack occurred and acknowledged that one resident lost his life. According to him, the situation was brought under control after security agencies responded quickly to the distress calls from the community. Ogiri explained that the combined security forces immediately moved into the area and launched operations aimed at pursuing the attackers. He said security personnel are currently combing nearby forests in search of the suspected bandits responsible for the attack. According to the chairman, the prompt arrival of security operatives helped restore calm and prevented further casualties. The chairman also sought to reassure residents that the security situation has stabilized after the initial violence. However, many displaced families remain hesitant to return home until they are convinced that the threat has been completely eliminated. As of the time this report was compiled, the Benue State Police Command had not issued an official statement regarding the latest attack. Efforts to obtain comment from the police public relations officer were unsuccessful, leaving several important questions unanswered regarding the identities of the attackers and the progress of ongoing security operations. The latest incident comes barely 2 days after another deadly attack in Otukpo community, also within Otukpo local government area. That earlier assault generated nationwide concern after residents reported that numerous people had been killed during the attack. Following that incident, however, the Benue State Police Command released an official statement confirming that 8 people were killed, while 5 others sustained injuries. The difference between residents' accounts and the official police figures further highlighted the confusion that often surrounds attacks in remote communities during the immediate aftermath of violent incidents. The repeated attacks have intensified concerns about security across Benue State, particularly in rural farming communities, where residents often rely on agriculture for their livelihoods. Many villagers say they now fear traveling to their farms because of repeated reports of attacks and violent confrontations in surrounding areas. Community leaders have repeatedly appealed to both the federal government and the Benue state government to strengthen security across vulnerable communities. They argue that while security agencies often respond after attacks occur, more proactive measures are needed to prevent attackers from reaching communities in the first place. Security analysts also warn that repeated attacks create long-term humanitarian challenges, extending beyond the immediate loss of life. Families forced to flee their homes often become internally displaced, losing access to farmlands, businesses, and schools. Children may miss weeks or months of education, while elderly residents struggle to cope with repeated displacements. The latest attack also raises broader concerns about food security. Benue State has long been regarded as one of Nigeria's major agricultural producers, supplying crops to different parts of the country. Continued violence in farming communities could discourage cultivation, reduce agricultural production, and place additional pressure on food prices nationwide. Many residents now believe that restoring lasting peace will require more than temporary security deployments. They are calling for improved intelligence gathering, stronger cooperation between security agencies and local communities, and sustained operations aimed at dismantling criminal networks responsible for repeated attacks. Others have urged community members to remain vigilant and continue reporting suspicious activities to security agencies. Local leaders believe that timely intelligence from residents can help security forces respond more effectively before attacks escalate into major tragedies. For families living in Onondo community, however, the latest attack has once again demonstrated how quickly ordinary life can be interrupted by violence. What began as another normal morning ended with one life lost, frightened families displaced, and another community left counting its losses. As investigations continue and security operatives search surrounding forests for those responsible, many residents remain hopeful that those behind the attack will eventually be identified and brought to justice. They also hope that stronger security measures will finally prevent the cycle of repeated attacks that has left many communities across Benue State living in constant fear. The people of Onondo community join a growing list of Nigerian communities seeking not only justice for victims, but also the simple assurance that they can sleep peacefully in their homes without the fear of waking to the sound of gunfire once again. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find this report informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more news reports. I'm Chidera Iso. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next reports.